Sketch two cycles of the graph of the given function. Indicate the amplitude, period, phase shift, domain, and the range. So given the circular function y is equal to 2 sine of x. So in this example, we're just going to use, this is only applicable for sine and cosine. So if it is cotangent, tangent, so it's different. It is for different video. So for now, we're just going to focus on sine and cosine. So what you're going to do in here is, first, you're going to be introduced to the function. So the function could be in the form y is equal to a sine of b times x minus c plus d. In this one, this is quite simpler than this. This is very complicated. As you could see, this is more simpler. So, dito, ang b dito is, ano yung katabi na number ng x? So, dito walang katabi, ibig sabihin may 1 yan siya dyan. So, b is equal to 1. So, x minus c, dapat so minus c, diba? So, kasi walang minus c, ibig sabihin 0 yan c. Plus d, dahil walang number dito naman, plus or ano katabi. So, ibig sabihin plus 0 yan siya. Ibig sabihin na d is equal to 0. So, that's the value of d. So, what you're going to do in here is this first. So, the first thing you're going to do is identify the amplitude. So, indicate the amplitude, the period, the phase shift, the domain, and the range. So, the amplitude in here is this. The amplitude is the A. So the A is the amplitude. So the A in here, the A is 2. So that's the amplitude. The period is equal to, the formula for the period is 2 pi over the absolute value of B. So copy 2 pi over B in here. Ang B is yung katabi ng X. So in this one, in our given function, ang katabi ng X is 1. Kasi wala siyang katabi, ibig sabihin may 1 yan siya dyan. So 1. So 2 pi over 1, which is equal to 2 pi. So ang period is 2 pi. The phase shift is the C. C. Kasi walang C dito. Ibig sabihin walang close open parenthesis minus 2. So, pag may ganyan, so 2 ang shift. However, in this one, kasi walang minus dito na katabi ng x, sa loob ng parenthesis, so 0. Next, the domain and the range, we cannot identify it yet. However, based on the amplitude, we will know na ang range is negative 2 to positive 2. And the domain is simply all x such that x is an element of all real numbers. We're gonna find out later why. So we'll proceed first. So given in this one, so what are we going to do? What are those? Ano ba yung amplitude, the period, the phase shift, the domain, and the range? For given example, this graph. So if this is the graph, the amplitude is gaano siya kataas. So the height of the curve is 1. In this one, the height diba ng curve is, itong height niya is 1. So, 1 ang amplitude. Next, what is period? As you can see, itong graph, akyat na naman siya, paulit-ulit siya. So, akyat, baba. So, from akyat to baba, this is 1 period. Kasi nga, ulit na naman siya akyat, baba. So, that is 2 period. There are 2 periods. So, this is the first cycle, the second cycle, or the first period, the second period. So, ang period niya is from dito hanggang 4 pi. So, ang period is 4 pi. So, after 4 pi, uulit na naman yan siya. So, akyat siya baba. So, 4 pi. So, ibig sabihin 8 pi. 8 pi. So, 4 pi plus 4 pi, 8 pi. So, next, what is phase shift? So example, if this is our graph and the original graph is this one, so how far did it move from the original? So dito nag-start ang original sa 0, so nag-move siya, ang ating graph is nag-start sa pi, so ang layo ng kanyang pag-move is pi. So this is the phase shift. So the phase shift is pi. So pi. So as you could notice, we did not use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Instead, we used pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi, and 5 pi, so on and so forth. So that's the pi. The domain is, the range pala is this one. So as you notice, that's question. How high is, what are the values of the y-axis na mayroong part na touch ng graph? Diba ang graph wala na dun sa taas? So it starts from -1 to 1. That's the range. The domain is, as you could see, may arrow yan siya. So papunta yan siya doon. So it is all real numbers. At saka may value rin siya dito sa kabila. So it's all real numbers. So since that is why ganito ang answer. So we'll see if how would the graph look like. So first thing you're going to do is we're going to identify x at saka y. So as from the given, we're going to start with 0. Next is pi. So you're going to leave 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3. Tapos yung period, so period. So again, you start with 0 and then leave 3 spaces. Mag-leave ka ng tatlong values sa dyan. Tapos 2 pi. Next, we're going to indicate, give values dito sa ano. First is, anong nasa gitna ng 0 at saka 2 pi? That's pi. Diba? Sa gitna ng 0, pi, 2 pi. Next, anong nasa gitna ng 0 at si pi? It's kalahating pi. Dito naman, it's 3/2 pi. To better understand that, this is 0 and this is 2 pi. So, sa gitna ni 0 at saka ni 2 pi, si pi. Next, this is, ang sa gitna naman ng 0 ni pi, it's pi over 2. Kasi si pi, hinati mo sa dalawa, that's pi over 2. Kapag si gitna naman ng 0 at saka ni pi, it's pi over 4. Kasi hati mo yun sa 4, so the first part is pi over 4. So, next, dito, sa gitna ni pi at saka ni 2 pi na naman, it's 3 pi over 2. Diba? Ang isang pi, hinati mo sa dalawa, tapos it's 3, ilan siya? 1, 2, 3. So that's 3 pi over 2. Kasi ang isang pi, hinati mo sa dalawa, that's 3 pi over 2. Next, if you're going to solve it in the calculator, what's the value of this one? You're not just going to simply write pi. Instead, if you're going to type this in the calculator, that's 180. You're going to change the value of pi to 180. Instead na pi ang ita-type mo dun sa calculator, you're going to use 180 over 2, which is, this is 180 over 2 or 90. This is 180. This is 3 times 180 over 2, that's 270. 2 pi is 360. 2 times 180. So, ganito ang ita-type mo sa calculator. So, first is, when x is equals to 0, y is equal to 2 sine x. The original function, 2 sine x. So, y is equal to 2 sine of 0. So, what's the value of 2 sine 0? So, 2 sine 0 is equal to 0. So, this is 0. Next, x is equal to pi over 2 or 90 degrees. So y is equal to 2 sine of 90. So 2 sine 90, it's 2. So we're going to have now, we're just going to solve it. If 2 sine 180, that's 0. 2 sine 270, -2. And 2 sine 360, that's 0. So these are the values. So 0, if it is 0, 0, so 0, 0. So plot the points. Pi over 2, it's 2. Kapag pi, 0. Kapag 3 pi over 2, -2. Kapag 2 pi, 0. So this is our graph. this is 1 cycle. So kapag continuous yan, this is 3 pi, 4 pi. So this is 5 pi over 2, 7 pi over 2. So if you're going to continue this, ganito ang mangyayari. Is it straight? So just continue. This is 2 cycles. So this is now our graph kasi what is necessary daw, what is asked is 2 cycles. So this is the first cycle, this is the second cycle. So this is our graph. So that's how we are going to graph circular function with sine and cosine.